This is an episode of Filmmakers Exposed. And what the hell is a grip? And some of the most essential tools that they use. First, let's start off with what the hell is a grip? You may have been watching the credits at the end of a movie or TV show, and you might see that come up and it says key grip, best boy grip, grip. In short, grips are the people who assist everybody on set. They are the ultimate filmmaker. Mainly they work in the camera and lighting department in the United States. They cut light, they make camera movements, and they assist every department with whatever they need. So in this video, I just want to talk about some of the most essential tools for you and why you should not ignore what a grip does. Most people out there watching this are not going to work on a large scale film set. So a lot of this information you don't need to know, but you do need to know what a grip is and what a grip does, especially if you're in the small video production and maybe one day you want to hire one or you're thinking about you might need one, and then you have to know why you need one. Generally, there's three departments in the camera department. There's the camera, that's the operator, the ACs you might all be aware of. Then there's the electricians, the ones who do the lighting on the set. And then there's the grips, the ones who really do the lighting on the set. Generally, an electrician, they're going to put a light there and then they're done. They're going to plug it up. They're going to make sure it's powered right. They're going to make sure they're not overloading the generator or overloading a fuse in any way. And then the grips are going to come behind them and they're going to shape the light. They're going to bounce the light. They're going to soften the light. They're going to cut the light with flags. They're going to do the green screen hanging if need be. They're the quite essential part to the finalizing of the lighting. You can't just throw a light on somebody and expect it to look good. This is what an electrician's going to do. He's going to blast the light some part of the set and then he's going to walk away. Then it's up to the grips to do whatever they need to do to finalize it. This is very hard light, very harsh, a lot of shadows. Then the grips are going to come in and bounce it and filter it. Much softer source, much more flattering to the eye, much more flattering to the actors, not to be blasted with hard light in their eye all the time, especially this day and age. We're not working in celluloid anymore, which is film. We're working in digital. So big lights, big bounces, big softy sources. That's the grip. Now we're going to talk about a few tools, my most essential tools that I use on every film set. We'll start from the most basic and we'll work our way up to more complex tools. One of the most basic tools out there is something so simple as a ladder. If an electrician has to reach a light, it's up to me to bring the ladder. I'm in charge of the ladders. I bring the ladder to him. He goes up on the ladder, he adjusts the light, and then he comes down the ladder. We fold it up, we walk away. If I need to rig a light in the sky, I use a ladder for that. I do the rigging. The grip is the one who does the rigging, not the electrician. I will set the point up in the sky. I will hang it properly. I'll make sure it's safe because grips are also in charge of safety. So I'll make sure it's safe. I come down the ladder. I let him go up there. I make sure the ladder's secure. He hangs his light. He plugs it in. We're good to go. I do the rest. If I need to diffuse that light, if I need to cut that light with a flag, I'm in charge of the rest of that. Next thing, let's just move something simple like an Apple box. All the things the Apple box does. This is a standard full set Apple. This is a stacker. This is a stacker from Kupo Grip. What I mean by stacker is you have different sizes. That's a half apple, quarter apple, a pancake, and a full apple. Generally, this is my commercial set. I would not use this on a film set. On a film set, it doesn't stack all in one piece, but on a commercial set, I need to be a little bit smaller. Maybe I have a smaller truck. I'm gonna put it all into one big apple box and stack it all in there. This is a creative set from Kupo. Other people have manufactured this before. They're not the only company out there who've manufactured stackable apple boxes, but they do make them. They're pretty solid. I like them, like I said, for around the studio here. Good little handy device. It comes, what is good for an apple box? They're good for sitting on. They're good for building platforms. They're good for leveling up tables. They're good for raising up tables, raising up chairs. Good for people to sit on to get an equal height when you got a camera, an over the shoulder. Good for people to stand on to make them taller. A lot of times we call them man makers. Man maker is what makes you taller. Pretty simple, basic piece of equipment. Next piece I want to move on to, something like a bounce. And a bounce can come in many different varieties. This is a basic Hollywood bounce. Sometimes it's handheld, calling Hollywooding it. And sometimes it goes in a device on a C-stand to bounce just to be there. Very essential part of a grip's essential tools. You may think this is a high-end, sophisticated piece of equipment, but it's not. This is just styrofoam. You can go to anybody out there, get some styrofoam, any of your local manufacturers, get some styrofoam. You can find, if you want, Lee filters, Roscoe filters. You can get Roscoe Flex. I forget the name of the Lee filters one, but this is a hard side. And this is a soft side, if need be. Harder bounce, softer bounce. Always use this on every film set I'm ever on. This is a standard 4x4 flag. It's a floppy flag. What does it mean by floppy? It means the top part's gonna come down and extend to a 4x8. 4x8 size flag cutter. What's this good for? This is good for blocking any light. It's also good for mirroring out the camera or putting it in front of glass to make sure that the glass doesn't reflect. It's good for everything. It's the essential tool for any filmmaker and any grip. I'd probably set, any given day on a film set, I probably set about 10 to 15 of these on a small shoot. On a big shoot, I could be looking at 20 or 30 of these flags all over the place. Just depends on what type of shoot. I'll spin the camera around and we can kind of take a look at what one is doing right now. An essential film. Bouncing light, back onto tonight's subject. Covering light, got a blue light in the background here. Knocking that light off of me a little bit, using that flag to make sure that the blue isn't spilling onto the ultra bounce here. Another top tool. We'll go into that on a different video, but it's making sure that this light isn't leaking onto me and casting any type of weird looking lights. Black wrap, also a very essential tool. Use it all the time. Same thing, it's just aluminum. It can go on super hot lights like HMIs and tungstens, will never burn because it's made out of aluminum, but it's black aluminum. Same thing, use that on a light to cover it up and make sure you don't spill extra light where nobody wants it. The grip's #1 defense and safety. Sandbags are for everything. They're for lighting and they're for C-stands. You always sandbag everything to make sure nobody trips over a light and blows it up and destroys your film set or it costs you money. Next, let's go with the Quacker. Quacker is a genius device, or some people call it a duckbill, foam core holder. Sometimes you can do that. but most time, Quacker, Duckbill, that's going to be what it is. Goes on your bounce and goes right into the next device we're going to talk about, C-stand. Now you can fill light in for your subject anywhere you want and walk away. Perfect little device for bouncing light. Want overhead light bounce down? Hard light bounce down if you want that situation, or you want to fill it in under light. Okay, that brings us to our C-stand, the most essential item that a grip could ever own. It's going to do your flags, it's going to cut light, it's going to bounce light, and it's going to hang lights. Certain lights like old Kino flows used to only have pins, and the only way to put them on a stand was to put it in a 2.5-inch grip head, which is what we have here. You also use these for bounce material like the Ultra Bounce we just looked at, or a grid, or a silk, or a muslin, or a unbleached muzz, or daylight blue. List goes on and on and on of the materials that you're going to either diffuse or bounce light into. Mastering a C-stand makes you an ultimate filmmaker. Knowing that you can put lights at the end of this and raise them up, and how a C-stand functions will make you look like a pro every time. Righty-tighty, knuckles always go to the right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Weight always gets distributed out to the right. That's why your knuckle is always on the right. Once you master a C-stand, you master all of filmmaking. Become a pro at a C-stand. It's the ultimate problem-solving tool. I use this for everything in my world. Now let's get a couple of things that's a little more complex, not necessarily, but things I use all the time, baby grid clamps. This is a very tiny one because I got smaller pipe up here in my studio. Baby grid clamps fasten onto pipe. Or a C-stand, like so. And then I'm able to put, who knows, a grip head on this. I'm able to put a light on this, and I can hang lights in the sky or just about anywhere, as I have round pipe to attach to, except for water. You never rig lights on water pipe. That's grip rule 101. Do not hang lights on water pipe. And my final tool, some people call these Madelinis, some people call them Cardellini's. Very similar to the baby grid clip I just showed you. But the difference with a Madellini or a Cardellini is it can hang on anything. If you've got angle iron, it can hang on that. If you got a skewed square pipe, it can hang on that. If you got round pipe, it can hang on that. So my second, first I go baby grid clamp. If the pipe's not round, then I start to go into my Cardellini's where I can hang off any pipe out there. That's going to do it for this video. It's pretty much just a simple rundown of some very essential grip equipment that I take with me on every film shoot. Got to have all these pieces on every film shoot. There's more complex things. There's a whole lot of world out there with grip and grip rigging and what they actually do. This is a simplified rundown of a grip. And I have to say a special thank you to Kupo Grip. You can find them on B&H Photo. They make all these essential tools and more. They lent us all their equipment on a recent commercial. And I have to say, I was pretty impressed with what they had to offer. Most of their items worked very well, mostly to what I'm accustomed to from other grip companies out there like Matthews and American Grip, to the top grip companies in the United States. So shout out to them. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll I'll leave a lot of links to everything that's here that you can pick up on B&H Photo and Amazon and wherever else you're out there. So that's been an expose on what a grip is and just some of their essential tools. Remember to hit that like and subscribe. And as always, go out there and keep shooting, and we'll see you in the next video.